Hey everybody, how's it going? Mike from the Focus Garage coming at you here with a POV video of an install on the 2009 Yamaha FZ1. You may have seen in recent videos here, we are prepping this motorcycle for an iron butt challenge, and what we're going to be doing today is installing a Kaoko Throttle Lock / cruise control module to make it easier for me to cruise down the highway for a sustained amount of time on this bike without getting a sore wrist. So essentially, I didn't want some big, bulky, clamp type mechanism or something like that hanging off of my grip or anything like that, or my handlebars. I didn't want something weird that kind of went on where the bar end went or anything like that. I literally just wanted something super simple and clean, which is where this piece comes into play. So I'm gonna open this up real quick here and show you exactly what this looks like. But in theory, the way this works is pretty neat. It actually replaces your bar end weight and is the same weight as your factory piece. And what this does is, using this little obviously washer here, when you apply the throttle rolling back with this knob and the grip at the same time, it should essentially lock the throttle, and then you can roll it forwards to come off of the throttle. Now, from everything I've seen, says this is a pretty simple installation. All you've got to do is go ahead and remove this bar end weight here. From what I've seen, it's an 8mm Allen key. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this in here. We'll take it off and we're going to see what we're looking at. All right, so that was super simple. This bar end was not on nearly as tight as I thought, like a lot of the things have been on this motorcycle. But I put the Allen key in here, turned it counterclockwise. I wasn't sure if these were reverse thread or not, and it just came right back to me here. So I'm gonna go ahead and very carefully remove this bar end weight here. And here it is. So, got the Kaoko piece, or Kaoko rather, comparing the two to one another here. Appears to be a little bit shorter. We'll go ahead and see how this installs on the bike here though. So something to pay close note of when installing this is, as you can see in step 2 here, it wants you to insert the thrust washer into the bar end there. So you can see, insert plastic thrust washer into the end of throttle sleeve as shown in picture 2. I'm back at it again here, and I apologize for doing it in 2 different video clips, but I'm in different clothes and it's the next day because I had to clear my mind and kind of freshen myself up on what I'm doing and why it's not working. So I ran into an issue yesterday to where this piece here, this little spacer that we've got, didn't want to fit where it needed to go. So essentially, this gets sandwiched here between the new bar end, and this is the old bar end on the bike, but this gets sandwiched between the bar end and the grip and the inside of the throttle tube. And what was happening is, the way the throttle tube was situated on my motorcycle is there was no room for this piece, meaning that however I adjusted the knob on the cruise control, it wouldn't fit right. So what I learned online is all of this stuff on the grip here and on the handlebars are easily adjustable. Through the 2 Phillips screws on the back of this, I was able to loosen the start-stop kill switch, move it more inboard a little bit. And next thing I'm gonna do is, as you see, we've got these 2 bolts here for the whole throttle housing. I'm gonna be able to loosen that and slide all of this inboard more. What that's gonna do is it's gonna make room for me to sandwich, 1, this little washer here, and 2, the rest of this, allowing this knob to kind of work and operate to put tension against the grip. So the next thing I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna loosen these 2 bolts and see if I can slide my throttle housing inwards more. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna pull this bar end weight off, show you what we're looking at now, and then show you what it looks like once we've moved the whole housing inwards towards the center of the bar. Now, I'm not sure how much free play I'm gonna have before I kind of run into other things or lose mobility of the throttle, but let's give it a go and we'll see where we end up. So I haven't moved anything yet, and this is what you're looking at. So you can see how much of the throttle is hanging over the bar end weight of the mirror. So, you know, I can stick my finger in there and it fits in there pretty well. So essentially what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to move this more inwards towards the center of the motorcycle, so that way the bar end can fit a little more loosely and have room for that throttle lock to operate. So again, we're gonna go ahead and take these 2 bolts, loosen them up, and move the whole grip inwards. So now we've closed the gap and moved everything more inwards to the center of the motorcycle. As you can see, I left myself a little bit of space here, but what I really wanted to show you was how much closer the bar end is now to the end of the motorcycle. So now what I'm hoping is, when I go ahead and pop that little washer in, it's closer and there's enough space from when I tighten the bar end weight of the cruise control to where it'll make sense, where there's a gap, not pressing on the grip, allowing me to continually get. So you see how smoothly that snaps back. The problem that I was having before was that once this bar end was on, this did not want to snap back like that. So now I see, and I know how it feels with nothing on it. I'm hoping that when I get the throttle lock installed, I still have that smoothness. So let's see what's gonna go ahead and happen now. So I'm hoping once I get that throttle lock installed that I still have that snappiness of the throttle when it's not engaged. So let's throw on the bar end, throw on the spacer and everything like that, and see what we've got. You'll have to forgive me for being totally idiotic yesterday and not realizing that my grip was way too far down the handlebar to make this work, because now that I've got that slid inwards a little bit more, everything works perfectly. So essentially what I wanted to show you is everything's installed. You know, here's the new bar end weight with the Kaoko cruise control. So snaps fine. If you want to put some tension in it, you build up the grip thing here, and then you apply a little bit of throttle, and look at that, it sticks. And then obviously to roll off, you just roll forwards on everything. And then bam, it's free again. It works. It's that simple. Literally is a 1-bolt installation as long as your grip is properly aligned on your bars. This bike isn't running the factory bars. It's got Rizoma bars, which have been rethreaded to accept factory bar ends. So that was that variable. And I didn't find out till I was doing the installation that this bike actually has the R6 throttle tube. That's why the inside of this tube is white and not black like the factory one. So now that I've got all that figured out, this works amazingly simple and it's super duper sleek. There's no weird clamp or lever here on it, no weird thing to pop my thumb on, nothing. If I want to set it, it's literally just a manual pressure that you turn on here, and that's it. It locks onto the grip as loosely or as tightly as you want. You know, you can really snug that thing down there or loosen it up, and then you literally just tighten it out of the way when you're done, and it's got nowhere to go. The little plastic washer in here does not cause any interference. It rotates freely with the bar. This washer here is all good to go. Not gonna make any noise. Everything is aligned perfectly. The throttle operates smoothly. I am freaking stoked. I can't wait to ride with this. And like I said, I'm not using this as like a full-time cruise control. What I'm using this literally is for what it's advertised as, is a throttle lock. So what I want to do is use this to kind of uncramp my hand while we're doing that iron butt journey. So I'm not doing, you know, holding it at 70 miles an hour for hours straight. If we're on, you know, totally flat ground, go ahead and spin this bad boy on, lock on the throttle lock, and, you know, hold it at whatever speed that I want to hold the motorcycle at. So I'm super amped about this. That's what this side looks like. That's what this side looks like. So it's the same shape, it's the same weight, it's even the same size. And man, I'm freaking stoked. The only thing to note is that the Kaoko one installs with a 10 millimeter hex, whereas the factory bar end here installs with a 8 millimeter hex. So something to pay attention to when you're taking them off, installing them, and swapping them. But I can't wait to get some miles on this to see what I think of it. I'm pretty stoked about it. My biggest thing is this bike, the bars turn closely to the tank, so I didn't want some weird thing hanging off here, flopping around. I didn't want something that looked gaudy or anything like that. Everything that I do with my motorcycles and my cars, I like it to be kind of OEM plus, so I absolutely adore the way this looks OEM. You know, if you didn't know what this was, you wouldn't think nothing of it. And oh, it's really cool. You kind of get that to where the tension needs to be, and then you just roll on the throttle. It's so sleek, man. It's locked. Obviously, I don't think you'd lock it at watt like that, but you can see as you kind of roll off, boom, it's off. It's crazy, man. So that's gonna wrap it up for this one. If you do not have a bike with electronic or a factory cruise control, I highly recommend you look at something like this. I think this is gonna really help kind of cut down on those cramps and the long highway fatigue miles. I'll have a link to the one I purchased in the description down below. This was fully paid for by my own money. I bought it through Revzilla because I didn't want something big, bulky, and clunky. There's a lot of cruise control / throttle lock options when you're looking out there for your motorcycle. So just pay attention to what you're looking for. That's gonna wrap up this video. If you're running one of these, drop it in the comments down below. If you'd like to run something like this, drop it in the comments down below. Let me know. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. This is Mike from the Focus Garage signing off, and I will catch you guys in the next video.